Hey everyone, hope you had a fantastic Diablo 4 early access launch because we just finished up a 20-hour long live stream and boy do I have something to show you. Not only do I have what I think is the best rogue build, it's incredibly straightforward and very strong, and I'm going to teach you step by step how you can use it too. I mean, who wouldn't want to be doing some damage like this or even this? Don't forget, if you want to copy down this build exactly, take your butt on over to Mobalytics to get a written in-depth guide on this build, showing you everything from the legendary aspects I use, stat priorities on your equipment, and even a complete rotation guide step by step. We made it so easy that my dog Raven actually does it. So if you're looking for the best information on the market on all things Diablo 4, please just do yourself a favor, head on over to Mobalytics. Now, without wasting any more time, let's get into it. Starting things off with our ability loadouts, we are going to first pick up Puncture and grab the fundamental Puncture passive to apply vulnerability, which will amplify your damage significantly. We're also going to be focusing on Twisting Blades with the advanced Twisting Blades enhancement to give us very high cooldown reduction on all of our abilities. And when our abilities come up faster, it allows us to keep on dealing massive damage. From there, we're going to grab Dash with the Methodical Dash enhancement for the cooldown reduction and mobility, and in general, Dash being used to amplify our crit damage is something that is super strong and should not be overlooked as well. And now, this is where it gets interesting. We are going to grab Poison Trap with the Countering Poison Trap for the chance to reset our Shadow Imbuement skill, which hits like a freight train when paired with our Twisting Blades. Pairing all this with Consuming Shadows makes for a very strong 1-2 punch combo to keep your energy high all the time. And the more energy you have, the more cooldown reduction you have pairing with Twisting Blades, bringing you a perfect harmony of gameplay rotation. We're also going to grab the Mixed Shadow Imbuement enhancement for the 12% damage bonus on our Poison Trap, Death Trap, and Shadow Imbuement, making it very useful to the build. And finally, we have the reason why this build is so broken, the Exposure Capstone in all its glory. This either reduces the cooldown of your trap abilities by 20% or drops a cluster of exploding stun grenades when dealing direct damage to an enemy affected by a trap skill. And with how much lucky hit chance we're going to have very easily, this is going to happen a lot. Having your cooldowns come up faster than you could use them, and grenades falling from the sky constantly to deal damage and stun your enemies. So your skill loadout is going to look like Puncture, Twisting Blades, Dash, Poison Trap, and Death Trap. And all of this together makes for a recipe of mass destruction in the damage department. Moving on to our passives, grab these in the exact order I'm telling you. We're going to grab Weapon Mastery first for the passive damage, as well as Concussive for the big critical strike chance increase when you knock someone down with your Poison Trap. After that, you want to immediately put 2 points into Consuming Shadows for the major energy regen, and the most important is going to be the Alchemist Fortune and Second Wind to give us a massive lucky hit chance percentage increase for our capstone talent. After this, you want to focus on amplifying your damage by grabbing talents like Trap Mastery, Exploit, and Malice. By this time, your character should easily be complete and be running through elites, bosses, and monsters like it's nothing. Moving on now to the best legendary aspects, you want to have the Blade Dancer's aspect from Skazglin in Act 2 to boost your damage with Twisting Blades, the Blast Trapper's aspect to make every enemy vulnerable affected by your trap skills, aspect of Explosive Verve to turn your grenades into trap skills as well, and the aspect of Unstable Imbuement to apply Shadow Imbuement to enemies around you when you activate it. After that, you have things like the aspect of Corruption for damage to vulnerable enemies, and the accelerating aspect to increase your attack speed in general. Now, these are going to be the most important legendary aspects to get this build going offensively. I still highly recommend grabbing at least 3 to 4 legendary aspects defensively to keep you alive because you are not using Dark Shroud. These can include the aspect of the Protector from Fractured Peaks, aspect of Might from the Dry Steppes, or the aspect of Disobedience from Kejitsan. Moving along to our gems, on our weapons we have 2 options. We're either going to go Emerald for the crit damage to vulnerable enemies, or the Diamond to increase our Death Trap damage. Either one of these works very well. We're going to grab Ruby on our armor for the maximum health increase, as well as the Skull for the 250 armor on our jewelry. Finally, we have our stat priority for this build, specifically for every item slot you can equip. Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, if you want a full detailed guide on this with a deeper explanations, you can check out the Mobalytics link in the description below. Now, let's show you all how it's done. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, so we are in game now to give you a quick gameplay preview, just to break it down how this build works in game. It's very important to note that we are going to be using preparation here to get our death trap up as quickly and as efficiently as possible. Death trap is a lot of our damage. More traps equals more cooldown resets, which equals more everything. So more death traps is great. On boss fights, we will swap it to inner sight. But let's get into it. You're going to start off by pressing Shadow Imbuement the second you have it available to get the cooldown already up and running. We're going to engage with the enemy by dropping both of our traps, spamming the Shadow Imbued Twisting Blades, and then dashing through so they take all the damage, the Twisting Blade follows, and we're on to the next pack. And then it's really just as simple as rinse and repeating. We're going to drop all of our damage here. Keep on moving. Simple as that. Drop our traps. Shadow Imbuement, keep it moving. Simple as that. We have a boss here. Gonna drop all of our traps on him here. Critical strike damage on him, amplified. Death trap is up again. Poison trap is up again. Dash through all of them and keep moving. As you can see, all the cooldowns just keep resetting over and over and over again. And you could just stay on the move practically 24/7. Very efficient. You pretty much just spam your abilities as often as you possibly can on this build while being incredibly mobile, incredibly bursty, and the cooldown reduction is very low. We're going to activate our Shadow Imbuement, clump them up together as tightly as we can, and just AoE both these elites down and absolutely decimate them. Let's see if we can get it done. We're going to dash through them, get both of our damage out on there. Dash through again for the critical strike amplifier. And they are goners. So, yeah, it's just very, very done. This is pretty much how it looks against minions and elites constantly. We're going to drop both of our traps, deal tons of damage on this guy here, and absolutely blow both of them up. And our death trap's up again. Drop both the traps. And guess what? We just used death trap, and it's already back up again. So, very straightforward rotation. You're just pretty much spamming your buttons over and over with priority on your traps, then your Shadow Imbuement, and then your Twisting Blades to get the cooldown reduction up. Those were elites and mobs. Let's move on to the boss fight. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, so we're about to fight a boss right now. You want to make sure you swap on bosses that don't have a lot of adds being summoned. You want to swap to inner sight because single target, it is immensely more damage. It is very, very good to just spam your Twisting Blades as much as you can. We're going to do the same general rotation. We're going to make sure we have our Shadow Imbuement active before we even go in there. We're going to engage with dash so we get the critical strike multiplier on there. Drop both of our traps. Spam Twisting Blades and reuse Shadow Imbuement in all our traps at the same time to just deal as much damage as possible. We're going to dodge on cooldown whenever he's about to attack and use our dash on cooldown whenever he's about to attack. Now, I believe this is a spider boss. So here we go. We're going to dive in. Use both of our traps here. And I do believe this boss summons a lot of adds as well. And this is a very mobile boss, so this might be a little bit of trouble here. So we're going to summon here. And since this is a lot of adds on this fight, we're going to swap to preparation as soon as we can. Group up all the adds, drop our poisons, and deal a ton of damage. Reset all of our cooldowns. Our death trap got summoned again over there. Here comes our death trap once more. Double trap. Very, very simple. By the way, 99% of the time, bosses don't run like that. So you actually can get all of your combos off very, very simple. That is a very different case. Usually, it's going to be a single target boss that doesn't run that much. When that's the case, you have your inner sight active and you do your thing. Obviously, we adapted. We knew that this fight had a lot of, adds coming, so we're going to use preparation because we get a lot of procs off our traps to get more energy, to just keep spamming the energy over and over. But that's going to be the general rotation in-game, guys. But okay, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to wrap up this video on my Trapper build. This is by far my favorite rogue build so far, and I've been absolutely dominating every aspect of the game with it. It doesn't matter what situation I'm in, the damage and the ability spamming over and over. It just makes this build broken in Diablo 4 so far. Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, if you want your chance at being featured on the Comeback Kids to display your build out into the world, you can show us your build on Discord and collaborate with us personally. And you can even get your build featured on Mobalytics. If you enjoyed the content, be sure to like and subscribe as it helps out the channel tremendously. And remember, we have a ton of giveaways coming this month, like Razer gaming products, Diablo 4 game copies, and even the physical collector's edition of the game. So make sure you stick around with the Comeback Kids for a chance at winning that. Please don't leave. I'm begging you, just don't go. I want to thank you all so much for watching this video. It's an absolute pleasure to be making content for you all. Until the very end, my name is Sky from the Comeback Kids. I will see you all in the next one. Peace!